Okay, guys, this is the rundown on session 3. It is about temptation and why we should not submit to it. And remember, this whole weekend is about the things that we give authority to. So, do we submit to temptation? Do we give in to temptation? And so this study is very straightforward. There's not a lot of bells and whistles to it. It's just kind of getting into it and getting in the nitty-gritty. So the questions that we're wanting to answer here are where does temptation come from? And there's several verses that will highlight some things. I'd like for you to go over all those verses with the students. Where does temptation not come from? That's James 1:13. It does not come from God. It's important for people to understand. How did Jesus handle temptation? And you'll look at the temptation in the wilderness of Jesus. You want to look over that and add a little of your own to it. I was real thin on that, but you've likely studied that passage and know more about it than I've listed. So feel free to add some thickness to that area. And then the key point. It's important. 3 things. Temptation is real, temptation is necessary, and temptation is temporary. And those 3 points are found in 1 Corinthians 10:13. And we just want to make sure that kids understand the reality of temptation, that we all will face it. Temptation is necessary because God has made us beings with free will, and temptation is a way for us to choose God, to choose what is right, to resist the opposition. And by doing that, we choose God. And so we're not robots. God does not make our decisions for us. And if all of the answers were A on a multiple choice test, that's not really a choice. You're just a robot, or you don't have any choices. So temptation is necessary. And then temptation is temporary. So we want to make sure that kids understand, that the struggle that they're going through, the thing that they're dealing with. Normally, in my experience, I know that when I'm tempted, it only lasts for a brief moment. If I can stay disciplined, if I can get through it, if I can apply some of the methods that you'll talk about at the end of the lesson, then usually I can get through it without failing or submitting to the temptation. And so the last section is an area where you'll need to take some liberty as well. Things that help us overcome temptation. I've listed a few. God's Word, obviously. Wise choices. Surrounding yourself with people that have your best interest in mind. And you may have some other things, I hope you do, that you can add to that, and let the students brainstorm and contribute to that conversation as well. So I'm excited about this one. It's something that's we're all dealing with, and we deal with on a daily basis constantly. So it's important to understand a lot of these things and have some discussion about it and get the ball rolling with students. Thanks.